Yo, 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 what's that word? 32 minute podcast, episode 44. Yes, the weekly double. Feel good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Interesting topics tonight. And the order we're gonna talk about them in is let's talk about because I feel like this might be a long-winded topic. The Gilbert Arenas tweet. So I'll read the tweet to y'all as the audience so y'all can know what we're talking about and we'll get into it. So the tweet by Gilbert Arenas was the NBA took away aggression to open up the Euro League. When they first started getting there, it was too rough for them and they didn't make it. So eventually they softened the rules to open up the international prospects to have more success in the NBA. And that was him explaining why NBA style and physicality changed. So, what do y'all think about those comments?
You go first, C.
Uh,
You the real hooper.
First off, I like to say the physicality from the NBA has changed a lot since when MJ played. So even when Gilbert Arenas was playing, I still don't think it was anywhere near as physical as back in the day. I mean, you had dudes throwing haymakers at each other. But right now, with the league is today, I feel like whether it was with the Euro players coming over or not, I kind of feel like it was taking a turn towards this because at the end of the day, people don't really pay to see defense; they pay to see points get put on the board. So anything that can help in that aspect, I'm pretty sure the league's always going to be for just to kind of keep the viewers up there and then just keep it climbing up.
I feel like,
Nah.
uh,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I was
Go
gonna
ahead. Go
say,
ahead.
I feel like the entire statement is kind of asinine because international play is more physical than the NBA. So I don't
Exactly.
understand how that really makes
Yeah.
sense. The best players, the best players from Europe, skill wise, are the ones that get drafted into the NBA. Because the NBA is a skills based league at this point.
Yeah.
You don't see um, like for example, somebody like Bismack Biyombo or Jonas Valanciunas or Zach Collins, like those players will be way more highly valued. Even I say 5 years ago, but definitely 10 years ago, when you had players like Tristan Thompson, who
Yeah.
if prime Tristan Thompson could probably barely play today, but nearly
Yeah.
10 years ago, he's the starting center in the NBA Finals. So to me it didn't make much sense. I thought it felt like a shot at the European players, like an unnecessary shot, because again, skill wise, if you look at the top five players in the NBA, now that's subjective, but majority of those are filled with European players or players born outside
Exactly.
of the United States, whether you have Jokic, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Luka, um,
Mm-hmm.
like, and there's a few other players that come directly to mind.
Well,
Wembanyama's going to be in there. So
Yeah.
but
um,
yeah,
I just feel like the statement was kind of asinine. And the like Chalil was saying, the physicality of the game. Yes, it was a much more physical game back then, but it also was like damn near a lot of time wasn't basketball. Like a lot of those dudes,
No, at all.
like like a lot of those dudes was just in there strictly to like get like they had six fouls. They had six. Go use your
Yep.
six. We're gonna shrink the floor. Dudes weren't really shooting as well.
Yeah.
And I think the hand checking and all that stuff when that got changed because, and I don't want to make this too long. I'm sorry, Brian, but like
No, you good, bro.
I really just to me,
Keep diving.
I really started to lose a little bit of interest in the NBA when you started seeing players like James Harden, Trae Young, um, and
All the
those are the
time.
main perpetrators of like doing the ticky stack stuff to try to draw fouls. Like to me, that's not basketball either. Like that's like you're trying to trick the refs. You're trying to trick the fans. Like that's not cool. Like you're not playing for real. Like and so that started to become lame. And so that's why I think the game where it is now you're starting to see the executives at the top like, okay, we got to do something to try to reel this back in. Even when Adam Silver commented on the East West game when they just had the first 20-point game and the highest point game total of all time, he wasn't happy because it's becoming non-competitive. Every team is damn near the same. You have some star players and you get somebody to get to the basket and you shoot threes. Like, yes, that is a skill in itself, but you're losing all the skill that comes with the in-between game. And like the players like Jamal Crawford, Kobe Bryant, and all that type of stuff, you're losing the how I say this, it's becoming more isolation based, but then everybody can't do that on the team. So you're losing great role players, in my opinion. But to make it short and not to overtalk everybody, I'll let Byron go, but I just didn't agree with the statement.
For sure.
Nah, man. I definitely agree with both of y'all. As you said, it was very, like you said, the European game is already very skill based. Their court is actually shorter. It's already more focused on defensive and actually being skilled passing. You see a lot more passing. You see a lot more actually physical. You can slap the ball once it hits the rim in the European League game. Like they're way more physical in the paint. They're already bigger guys, things like that. So I don't understand how he's saying that the European League is a more physical game. And then just like B was saying, NC, yeah, it was a more crazier game back in the day with hand checking and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, a lot of those guys were just clotheslining people, man. That is not basketball, no way, shape, or form. That is not any. It doesn't take skill to just knock somebody out. Like anybody can do that, especially if you're not. I mean, no. Well, if you're not expecting it, you think we're playing a sport, and out of nowhere, I'm coming to dribble. I'm thinking you about to guard me, and you slang. I'm not expecting that. Like, I'm not expecting you to knock me out of the air like an NFL player when we in the NBA. Like, and I mean, they literally had that as the Jordan rules, like, and they glorified that. Like, I get it, it was deep, like, but you're not gonna just knock people out of the air, especially now with the NBA. I feel like the NBA itself has just gotten soft with wanting to be more entertaining. When you want to be entertaining, yeah, you want more showboating, you want shots, you want Curry. That's why Curry is one of the faces of the league nowadays. He pulls up from 30, dribble on people, you know what I'm saying? You touch them, like you said, those certain guys, Harden, Trey, then you touch any of those guys and it's a foul. I mean, yeah, they're changing that rule now as those real ticky tacks, like you kicking your leg out and all those kind of things. But as a whole, man, they need to bring back a lot of the actual defense. Yeah, I want to see a lot of scoring, but that comes with you being better. Put the ball in the hoop. If you can't put the ball in the hoop with actual defense, you shouldn't be in the league, especially amongst your peers. So I feel like you should definitely bring back a better defense. Maybe bring back hand checking. You don't have to necessarily bring back knocking people out, but bring back hand checking. Make it harder for them to score. If you want a real skill base, make these guys actually score the ball, like a hard defense. If you bring those guys back that actually, hey, I'm not a great scorer. I can score the ball, but I play immaculate defense. Remember Tony Allen back in the day? That guy couldn't shoot the ball off the side of the barn, but he played some defense. That man was getting 3, 4, 5 steals in the game, locking people up. But that's what you want to see. That guy was like a star in his own right. Not maybe a superstar in the league for those guys, but like to real basketball, real hoopers, like you seeing defense. Oh, you like, oh man, he clamping him up. Let's go. I want to see some cookies and milk. Easy layups on the other side, man. Not, saying knocking people out, but you can't necessarily say that this league gotten soft just for the European game. Nah, those guys were already doing actual skill-based stuff and playing good defense and not having to knock people out to do it.
I totally agree with what you said. Bring back. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Chalil.
No, I was gonna say, like, just a prime example, the international tournament over last summer.
Yeah.
Team Jaren Jackson struggled to get rebounds. Team USA struggled with the physicality against all them international teams.
Exactly.
That's just proving a point right there. So,
and I agree with Byron saying bring back the hand check. And I feel like if the offensive players get to like literally like I didn't know this was a thing
move
because
freely.
you can't. They'll call it on you if you try to go up for a layup and put your hand up. Like they gonna call it on you. Where it's not natural. But I started noticing in the NBA they do this all the time. Like they go up for a shot, they block it with their hand, or when they dribble, they can hook you and all types of stuff. And they can put their hand on you. Why wouldn't you be able to put your hands on them? Like that doesn't make
Yeah.
that's clearly not fair. So I just
And
don't
the hook
understand.
rule was supposed to be like been taken out. It was taken out around the same time hand checking was, but you still clearly see the offensive player hooking.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, it's not
Um,
fair at all.
and it's like when we talk about skill in the league today too, it's like now a lot of different stuff is allowed that's like blatantly violation, like carrying, like everybody
Yeah,
carry. A lot of people travel, like people have traveling highlight reels or low light reels. Like
yeah.
I feel like when
It's
you
that
make the
gather
game,
step.
yeah, I feel like when you make the game easier, you make the players less skilled. Like um, how they say like hard times or weak times create weak men. Like you're making the game way too easy for these guys. Like when we did our last podcast and we were talking about Ant Luca, Shea, and one other guy, Tatum. When I looked up Tatum's points per game, I was like 29. Oh, he probably close to leading the league. Dude was ninth. I was like, it's 9 dudes scoring more than 27 a game. Like, I really couldn't believe it. And that's
Yeah.
because of the way the rules are. Like, right now, it allows the offense to be extremely free flowing, which,
Yeah, you averaging 20 something points nowadays, and that
yeah,
is like not that's borderline trash. I ain't gonna say it's trash, but you average 20 something points nowadays, you're not that good.
you ain't
And
nothing
back in the
special.
day, that used to be something like
Yeah,
like you averaging 20, like 25, 27 and stuff like that was like highs. Like you doing that, you getting MVP. Now you need
yeah.
32, 34. Like you scoring that many points, like that's just ridiculous.
I think
Like
Steve Nash won MVP averaging anywhere from 15 to 18 points a game. And that 15 used to be considered like super solid. Like you could be a
exactly.
starting player averaging 15 and you were considered like an all-star. Now 15, man, you might get I remember Melo was probably averaging something close to that and you would be out the league pretty soon. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But moving on, that was a great conversation, guys. Uh, and let us know y'all thoughts in the comments. I don't say that enough. Let us know y'all thoughts in the comments. Y'all like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel as we
Most
continue to
definitely.
grow on our journey. Um, but yeah, so our second topic was I wanted to touch on this. It was a graphic that we saw and we collected. So these are 4 different teams. Golden State Warriors, okay, in their prime. So you have Steph, Clay, and Shaq versus the Bucks with Dame, Giannis, and Kobe. Then you have the Lakers with LeBron, AD, and yes, Larry Bird. It's crazy. And then finally Denver, which would be with Jokic, Michael Jordan, and Jamal Murray. And who did y'all have as like winning that as a 7-game series?
I will be right back. I just got to bring the baby seat to my girlfriend right quick.
For sure. So
Now
I'll let you go first, Byron.
I got you, man. To me, with the way the teams are constructed, with the way these 4 teams are constructed, it's pretty easy, man. It's clear cut. Well, I won't say clear cut, but to me, with the way those guys are, me personally, I'm picking the Warriors team. And with the way the X factor is Shaq. Most definitely is Shaq. I mean, I don't see anybody stopping him. I mean, Giannis maybe give him the most problems, but Jokic, I feel like he's way too slow to deal with that kind of physicality. I mean, he's a very physical guy. He's very strong. I'm not putting nothing past that. But like the way that with the strength and speed, quickness, footwork, I feel like Shaq in his prime is just gonna dominate every one of those big men, especially AD. I mean, AD is not. He don't even like playing center. That he loves playing power forward. He doesn't want that physicality. He shoots threes. That's what he wants to be a guard. I mean, he started his game out as a point guard, and he just so happened to grow to where he at now. So he still has that guard mentality on like, okay, this is what's hot. I want to shoot. Jordan definitely, obviously, the GOAT, would make it a little harder for the Warriors just to go at it because Murray can play some defense as well, but him guarding Curry for however long this series would be very hard, and Jordan can't do it all by himself.
All right, and then we talking 3v3 or like 5v5 whole team.
I was thinking 3v3.
Yeah, 3v3.
I just want to make sure. 3v3. I'm taking Golden or Steph and Clay with Shaq. Byron explained a good amount, but that pretty much speaks for itself. You got to remember, Clay in his prime dropped 37 points in one quarter. He dropped 60 points dribbling like 11 times or something like that?
Not even.
Yeah, something around there. He dropped 60 points barely dribbling the ball. Steph was the first unanimous MVP in his prime. He was doing things that have never been done before. Then you just have Shaq, who was dominant throughout most of his career. And then, like you said, the X factor Shaq. With Shaq being there, there's really no double teaming or anything, or pretty much helping. You can't help. And that leaves Steph to do what he wants to do one-on-one. And then you just have Clay just there ready to knock down shots. So short and simple. I don't even have to go through the other ones. I'm taking Golden State with Shaq.
Honestly, when I saw this, I thought it was easy too for Golden State with Shaq. But just for be contrarian, I'm gonna go with LeBron, AD, and Larry Bird. I think that all three of those guys can average double-digit rebounds, especially Larry and AD, and LeBron close to double digits on the rebound. So that'll help out on the boards against Shaq. LeBron and Larry are excellent playmakers. Larry, obviously one of the best three-point shooters of all time. When you run that pick and roll between AD and Bron, plus AD and LeBron probably got, besides Steph and Clay, AD and Bron probably got the best chemistry on this list due to the length of time they've been playing together and the success they had. Defensive-wise, hey, we're going to have to provide some help for Larry, but he wasn't as bad as Steph or Dame or Murray. So he is the worst defender on this list. LeBron, prime LeBron, arguably the most athletic person of all time. And then prime AD. Like, people like to think this might be prime AD. Like, no, New Orleans Pelicans AD, he was a dog. Yeah. Individual scoring. I don't understand how AD doesn't have a DPOY. It's kind of beyond me. But he was great on defense, and he was much more athletic and agile. Like the AD you see now, he's still great, but as a result of injuries, that I don't think he moves the same ultimately now. But New Orleans AD was a beast, especially he still knowed how to shoot the ball, which is, abandoned my dog lately for a few years now. So we got some shooting surrounding LeBron. We got some playmaking. I like this team, man. I think everybody else is pretty even. Besides, again, I would pick Golden State and Shaq and the guys, but it's hard to go against them. But I think that this is the most skilled team on this list, and I think that they give them a run for their money. Maybe they take 2 games off of them or something like that. Maybe they hope Clay miss a few shots, but that's prime Clay. But you got to give up something because we got a double Shaq and we can't leave Curry. So Clay got to score 100. I'm sorry, I don't know what he might do it, but he got to score.
Hey, I mean, with Shaq down there slinging all the big man, grabbing every rebound.
Now we got fouls now.
Back out.
And it's unlimited fouls now. Shaq got to go to the line. We got to give up something.
Dirty.
Shaq-
Ain't no free throws in 3-on-3.
Oh,
no
we
free
definitely
throws.
fouling that boy.
Check
No
that
free
right back
throws.
up top. Check it up top. Up top.
Take it up
For
top.
real.
Yep. Ain't no free throws. Maybe the 5-on-5 will give it to you.
Nah, he getting fouled too. But yeah, just like they
Hacking
did in the
Shaq.
league for real. If you
That's
want to say
crazy
the
to
game
make a
was
whole
physical,
room.
that's the real reason why the game was physical, because of Shaq for real. That's who everybody's using the fouls on.
They literally called it Hack a Shaq. That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That boy don't like that name no more.
There's one dude that would be on every team just to foul Shaq. Like, like you're not on the team for nothing else. That's another reason. Like you said, you taking somebody check. That could be somebody check just to play defense and get Shaq.
Thanks.
I'll take it.
Facts.
You too.
You're gonna be bruised and battered by the end of the game.
But this just reminded me, because again, y'all subscribe to the channel because we have some interesting series that we about to like produce for y'all, put together and things of that nature. It reminded me of a certain video that I want to work on. Like we were just talking about Shaq, and he likes to call himself the most dominant. I really think he just say that. He really want to say that he the GOAT, but he know that he's not. So he just says most dominant low key. So, but I don't think he's the most dominant, actually. I think it's actually somebody else. And I'm gonna do a video on that. And if you think, I think people are gonna understand who it might be. And I know why y'all gonna disagree, and I'm gonna tackle all those points. But our final topic for this podcast and this video, which again, y'all subscribe to the channel and go support all our other content.
Yes, sir.
Was the Chicago Bear situation. Do we think that they should stay at number one, stay at number one, draft Caleb Williams, and use whatever capital they get from trading Justin Fields, or keep the pick, draft somebody else and keep Justin Fields and just build around Justin Fields what they got now? What do y'all think they should do?
Oh man! First and foremost, Justin Fields is. I've seen him all the way back at QB1, that Netflix special, with all those high school quarterbacks coming out, and I feel like he's a really great quarterback. I just feel like he was not properly developed at Chicago. They haven't really been a great organization in a long time, and I think with the fact that I mean, they were a great historic organization.
Yeah, you're right. Good.
I feel like it's time for something new for both sides of the party. Justin Fields needs to go somewhere new, get a new start, everything's fresh, and actually get to see his skill, and someone else actually taking proper care of him. Good quarterbacks, a good quarterback room, good OC, and changing everything over. And they need to get a haul. Just get the haul with whatever you're going to get for Justin Fields. I feel like you can at least get maybe a late first rounder, a couple second rounders, and just build around Caleb Williams and actually develop him this time and don't mess that up.
That man trash against competition.
Mm-hmm.
What you say?
Which one?
Caleb Williams. That boy ain't show up against competition.
Okay.
I'm just salty that
he should be number one?
No, I don't, but I'm just mad he ain't throw at the combine. But
so yeah. What do you think the Bears should do? Do you think they should trade Justin or
I mean, I like Justin Fields as a player. Like, I like his player prototype. I mean, he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. I just feel like with the Bears organization, there's not really enough pieces put together right now. And like Byron said, with time, I feel like as everyone starts to develop, they can get back to somewhat what they once were. But like Byron said, I think it's time maybe that Justin Fields kind of wants a new start somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's what I was seeing a lot of Justin Fields to Atlanta. Which I'm not really familiar with the team, the Falcons team, but I don't know if that situation would be any better for him. Just with the players and everything that he'd be going into. But Like I said, I think they would probably trade, or the Falcons should trade for them to get Justin Fields. And that's just keeping it short for right now.
And Madden, actually, and I swear to God, this is before all this Caleb Williams, before he even entered the draft. I had Justin Fields. I traded for him, and I was like the franchise owner of the Falcons. So like this is like all kind of like a little bit surreal. But he wasn't good on the game. And honestly, like I don't think he's that good in real life. I don't really think Justin Fields is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I think he has deficiencies in his game, and soon he's gonna need a big contract. So that's the thing about Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields to me. You reset that rookie quarterback contract when soon you're going to have to give Justin a huge ascension regardless because he was a very high draft pick. So if you can restart that, you can put other pieces around Caleb Williams. You can actually invest more in the offensive line, in the defense, in receiver. Now, what the Falcons will be giving up, I mean, I think they have anywhere from the 5th to the 10th pick. Let's just say 7th or 5th to the 10th. They have a pick within there. Now, if you could somehow, get that pick and trade away Justin Fields and possibly, maybe move up, try to get Marvin Harrison to pair with Caleb Williams or get him a strong offensive lineman or maybe Dallas Turner or Jared Verse or somebody like that, or maybe get more picks, trade later on, pick up Keon Coleman. I'm going for my Florida State guys, Johnny Wilson or one of those guys and still pick up another piece for that offensive line. I think you have some cooking. Now, do I believe in the Bears coaching staff? I don't, but they have been through a lot of coaches, and at certain points, you just can't keep firing guys. So I think they should get us a chance. Now, I personally, this might be controversial. I don't know if Caleb Williams should be the number 1 pick. Like Chalil said, he pretty much lost every important game that he played in, including losing to Tulane. It wasn't just him. That defense was terrible. Now, he was balling, but that defense was terrible. But they lost. So I would probably consider taking Drake May at number 1 overall. Watch him a lot. I watch a lot of ACC football, and he has all the tools that I think a great quarterback has as far as accuracy, size, leadership. It wasn't a throw he couldn't make on the field. So I would consider Drake May for number 1 overall personally, and I just think he has a more laid back, less arrogant attitude than Caleb, and that might rub some of the veterans in the locker room the wrong way. But I don't want to throw smoke on the guy's name. I still think he's a great prospect. I just might have a preference for another quarterback at number 1 overall.
That boy Caleb want to own a stake in the team.
You think Drake May might have all the intangibles to be the best quarterback to come out the draft then?
Yeah. I think 5 years from now, we're going to look at it, Drake May's going to be the best quarterback from this draft, personally. Now, I could be totally wrong because he does kind of look like a former North Carolina quarterback named Mitchell Trubisky. So I could be wrong, but I don't
like Bo Nix, man.
And Bo Nix by our age. but yeah, man, it's just the system he played in. Like,
I feel you.
It's just the system. I like him. I think he's going to be a solid backup in the league. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I don't think he's accurate enough. The quarterback I'm super interested in is Jaden Daniels, though. I'm not super high on him, but I want to see like how he translates, especially with his physical stature. Like he's a really slender guy, and if he's going to be able to take like the physical punishment he's going to take on the NFL level, and to see how accurate he is as well. So I want to see what he does.
At least he ain't 5'9" like Brees.
Like who?
Like Bryce.
Brees
or Bryce Young.
Yeah. Man, Bryce surprised me.
That, you know?
I thought Bryce
he didn't get injured.
Yeah. And his supporting cast is terrible. Like, I think his number 1 receiver, like Adam Thielen.
Yep.
My dog got a clear person as number 1 receiver. He can't do nothing. He's 33. Adam Thielen is 33. That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Adam Thielen was getting off this season though.
I mean, that's the only guy you got to throw to. You might as well.
Hey, listen, bro. The type of season that I think he had, I'm gonna look it up. But the type of season that he was having, bro, I'm his age. I'd love to have that season.
Yeah, he's the only one you throw to.
Yeah, I don't even know the other starting receivers on the team. Like,
he's still good for sure. But I mean, when you good and then you the only person there, you gonna be great.
Yeah, he was a decent slot receiver. He probably had anywhere from 700 through 900 yards.
Talking about Thielen?
Yeah.
He hit 1,000.
Yeah.
He had 1,000 yards.
He ain't hit that since the Vikings back in the day.
Man, 1,000 what? 1,003? If it cut off, we had a great episode.
1,014.
Yeah.
1,004. That's barely scraping the surface.
Yeah. And 1,000 yards at receiver ain't what it used to be.
Fact.
But you know what? I'm sweating, bro.
1,500.
Adam Thielen. I ain't know he had that.
Yeah, it's hard to hit 1,000 for sure. But shoot, how many targets?
137. 103 receptions, 137 targets.
Hey, I like that. That's respectable.
So he was balling. I give him that.
Put some respect on his name.
Probably about 3 touchdowns in 17 games, but he was balling. He was balling though. But
with respect.
But Bryce need. I think they fired their coaching staff. I don't know who they hired to be the coach there.
He's gonna have a rough first 3-4 years.
Rough career.
Fact.
He's gonna have a rough career.
I need to be traded ASAP.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to college.
Hey man, before it cut off, Justin Fields, if you want to be a Jet, man, we'll welcome you in open arms. I don't know why we ain't hearing about the Jets in the pre-draft process trying to get a quarterback. Even though I guess we got Aaron Rodgers, so put in my mouth there. But
you're gonna have him for about 1 year.
Nah, to be honest, what do you? I don't know how long we got. B, I want to ask you this. To be honest, what you think about having Russell Wilson as a backup?
Me?
Yeah, because he's not gonna start next year because you're still gonna get A-Rod.
Well, let's say less than a minute, so I'm gonna say he'll be a great backup. But we need somebody back there because the option we had this year and what we've been having the past since Mark Sanchez has been terrible.
I'm thinking him as the backup, draft somebody next year, actually develop them because we'll have Russell for about 3-4 more years. Actually develop him for 3-4 years. I'm just saying, I need to actually develop somebody for at least 2 years max. Yeah. And then don't just throw them to the wolves like trash that.
It's about to cut off, but let's get Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I wouldn't mind Bo Nix as a backup. Maybe he becomes a starter. Or Jordan Travis, another Florida State guy. But yeah,